What's up? My name's Clark. I'm an artist. The next painting in my Into the Blue series is an octagon. The octagon is different because it follows a square grid, and the hexagons, diamonds, chevrons are all based off triangles and follow the three-axis grid. In the case of the octagon, I'm going to use a four-axis grid. My plan to lay out the grid was, as you can see, to divide each side. I've been working in 2-inch intervals, but it turned out this canvas stretcher, which I made a long time ago, is an odd size. So I centered the 2-inch grid and worked out from there and end up with a space at each end that's slightly smaller. When we look at the corner of my grid here, you can see the smaller spacing. So this threw me off a little bit to begin with. At first, I wasn't sure how I would deal with the awkward size, and again, I came to the conclusion that I would just center the grid and everything would work out. And as I went along, it was clear that it wasn't going to work out the way that I thought it would. So my conclusion is that the octagon, the sides aren't perfectly square. What's wrong is that my lines don't intersect. What you can see in the center is all the centered lines, of course, intersect perfectly. Here, everything lines up the way that I had anticipated it lining up throughout the whole grid, but it didn't work out that way. You can see here, we've got an awkward intersection where my lines aren't all meeting up. So this changed the different geometries that were available to me. I was hoping that all these lines would line up. I'd have this beautiful grid and I could see exactly all these different patterns that were available to me. But because that wasn't the case, I'm thinking differently about the layers that I'm going to incorporate. The next steps, I love thinking about my next steps. And for this painting, so one layer will be checkered blue and green. The next layer will be checkered red and orange, analogous colors. What you can see now is that I've taped the outlines of my first checker pattern. So we've got a basic square grid. Again, our distortion plays out along the outside. The corners would still be square because they would all be distorted to the same degree, and then the in between we have rectangles, slightly longer in one direction. But all things considered, even highlighted at this level, maybe it doesn't entirely read. And I guess all that's to say is the mistakes will hide themselves, or you might not. I really can't even consider this a mistake because it wasn't, I'm working with what I was given. I guess I could consider them mistakes in the fact that I didn't quite get what I was hoping to out of it, or what I expected. But that's also what makes it human. So, things being a little bit off, is going to feel more natural. And again, it's important to me that these works are not digital. They're paintings. Here, the next step for me is to tape the inside lines. So for the outside lines, I'm using 1/4 inch tape, and the inside lines I use 1/2 inch to give myself a little room for forgiveness, make the process a little easier. So again, the next layer is going to be the same grid pattern, and the colors in this grid pattern are going to be checkered, and the next one will be rotated. So stay tuned, and I'll show you how this develops. Thank you.